Welcome to the channel of Faith Temple Ministries. I'm glad to be talking to you today in the beginning of the year 2026. This is a 1 year, so everything is resetting. You know, the country is going through a very terrible time financially, and I want to get into the Bible verse of 2026 that is going to give you a clearer understanding and open your mind to the financial situation and economic calamity that we are about to go through. All right. So turn to Genesis chapter 47:15, and I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, everything is going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. So let's read. And when the money was all spent in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, Give us bread, for we shall die in thy presence, for our money faileth. Let me read that again. Genesis chapter 47, verse 15. And when all the money was spent in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came up to Joseph and said, Give us bread, for we should die in thy presence, for our money hath faileth. The money had failed. It was just so much inflation that the money wasn't nothing. Now, does that remind you of something? Here in the U.S., we think our money is God. Our money will never fail. I recently took a trip to the Cayman Islands and found out that they think our money is worth crap. For every one of our dollars, it's just 80 cents to them. So we're missing 20 cents on the dollar. Now, when I came back to the U.S., I seen that inflation had gone up and the food was much, much more. Everything is getting much, much more. Where you can say that your dollar or your money is not stretching the way that it used to be. Now I want to get into the whole part of this story, that they came begging for bread because their money wasn't worth anything. They ended up selling their land, their crops to Egypt and begging to be slaves so that they could get some bread and not die. Well, I want to let you know the prophetic message that I'm going to give to you in 2026. And that message is to be smart, open yourself to wisdom and understanding, and to get guidance and teaching. Because what they went through didn't have to be this way. They could have seen that a mile ahead, that their money was getting ready to fail. Now you have to, when the dollar is getting less, what do you have to do? You have to put yourself to earn more income. You have to put yourself in a situation where you have to start switching out your money for something that is more valuable. If it is not valuable and you're not earning more income and switching it into something that is more valuable, then your money is going to fail. And many of us today are slaves for bread. It's been a recent study that these pay later, buy now apps such as Affirm, Klarna, have people on that app taking out credit to pay for food. Now, the people of that land in Egypt sold themselves, sold their land, sold everything just so they could eat. But there was people on the land, the priests on the land that were saved. They didn't have to sell their land. They didn't have to sell their crops because they were real priests. There wasn't a priest every block as you go to some cities, or everybody that's just calling themselves a man of God. Back in those days, you had to prove yourself in the spiritual and in the spirit that you were a man of God, because you held certain benefits that other people didn't. I want to come to you tonight to let you know that what you have in you is bigger than your circumstances. Even though everything is crumbling around you financially, you have the power. You have the mindset. God wants you to be wealthy. And I am delivering this message right now so that you would be able to see what is far ahead and start to prepare and start to make a way for you and your family. You see, many times we think that everything is going to be good. And if we lived in the land of milk and honey, of inventions, of great technology. But the world is steadily twisting and turning and going into another direction. You see it all around you. You see it in the news.